given us a bad name. One police officer can do untold harm. But what I tell folks is, it's no different than any other profession. Just because a doctor loses a patient on a table to a mistake they made, do we now start yelling at every single doctor? Do we stop going to our doctor's appointments? Do we resist doctors that are giving us advice? Of course not. It's the same thing with police work. Just because we have a bad apple doesn't mean you demonize the entire profession.
Do you think diversity on the police force or forces around the country would help out, where you have individuals who look like the police officer that may be stopping them?
Sure. I mean, I think diversity is important in any field. And right now we have a majority-minority department here in Houston that really reflects the city that we have. I think it's important that diversity in every single police department. But I also want people to know our officers are professional enough. They've never been better trained. They've never been better educated than they are right now. And regardless of their race, they're going to provide you that service that they should be providing. They're going to respect you. But the important thing is, on the side of the road at that traffic stop, on the scene of that crime, whatever it may be, comply with what the officer is telling you to do. It is no time to argue, and that's part of the reason why we have some of these viral incidents.
Do you think because of social media things are getting worse when there is an encounter with a police officer? Because people see so many videos on social media, as soon as they stop, they're pulling out their phone.
Sure, as I've said, we have never been more educated. We have never been better trained. And we have phenomenal people that are working on the police departments all across this country. But all they need is a viral snippet of an officer. Maybe that officer was doing wrong, or maybe that clip is taken out of context. But the fact of the matter is, it starts this whole outrage, and that outrage spreads nationwide, and it needs to stop. Because our officers are sick and tired of being demonized and made to be the bad guys when they got into this profession to help people.
So what is the first order of business to try and address this negative image and the shortage?
Well, I think what's most important is officers across this country, and whether it's police unions or chiefs, when there is a false narrative out there, when people are constantly touting anti-police rhetoric, we need to push back and say, no, these are the good men and women of law enforcement, because frankly, it needs to stop. We need to stop demonizing the hard-working men and women of law enforcement. For far too long, we've been dragged through the mud, and our officers are out there doing a good job every single day. We're seeing water dumped on them in New York. We're seeing in Philadelphia where they're responding to 6 officers shot and people are screaming and throwing things at them. We don't believe that this is acceptable in a normal society, a reasonable society, and it needs to stop. And I think once we get that turned around, maybe we'll see more people that want to be law enforcement officers. But right now, we're not seeing it because of these reasons. Because smart, educated people, the exact people we want in this department, don't want to be a part of getting spit on, getting buckets thrown at them, water thrown on them, and they're seeing those videos just like everybody else is.
And as Joe Camaldi, still to come, there is a